19th, 2026 to order. If you're able, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Taking a look at number 3, changes to the agenda. We do have a revised consent agenda and a revised hiring and termination report. And we're going to strike the Park and Rec Committee report because they did not meet last night. Is there any other changes? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Robin, a second by Rick. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carries. All right, moving on to number 5, guests and open forum. We have Nicole Hubbard with roadway safety concerns. Welcome. Yeah, come up to the podium if you would, and I guess we already know your name, but
I'll still introduce myself
Yeah,
because
that's
it's written
perfect.
down and I got to follow my script, otherwise I'll get lost.
that works.
Good evening. First, thanks to the board members, Mayor Kobinger, for letting me speak and having the opportunity to be here tonight. My name's Nicole Hubbard. I'm here to share roadway safety concerns along 150th Avenue Southeast and 122nd Street Southeast. So for those of you here not familiar with that road, it's the probably one remaining short gravel road, half a mile long, near the compost site. I'm here tonight because families and residents along these roads are experiencing dangerous driving on this road on a daily basis. High speeds, reckless behavior, and drivers who treat this residential area like a cut-through. Last week, I had an incident coming home with a walk with my 5-year-old daughter on the road. I know some of you have seen the video. A very scary situation as a mother, to the point where I had my daughter have to get into the ditch because I was worried something was going to happen because this roadway is so unsafe. Becker PD appropriately and did a fantastic job following up on this incident, and very much appreciated their support. But it just goes to show the concerns that we have as residents here, and that something needs to happen. This isn't an isolated incident. Things like this happen on a regular basis, on a daily basis, and at all times of the day. If you'd speak to anyone who lives along this roadway, you'll hear countless stories of similar driving and reckless behavior. What we need are real, immediate, and long-term safety improvements that address the underlying safety issues on this road. There's no safe pedestrian space. There's minimal proper signage, and I know there's challenges with that. And there's certainly major issues with the visibility due to the constant dust from the unpaved surface. With this planned park going in nearby, these neighborhoods continuing to grow, the risks are only going to get worse and more. Because who's going to be moving into these neighborhoods? Families, which means children and people that are going to be using this roadway. The current conditions simply don't meet the level of residential and recreational use this area sees, and more so, they're currently failing the families and residents that live here now. I understand change doesn't happen overnight. This specific situation isn't simple or straightforward. The little bit that I know about this road, I understand it's a shared road between the township and city, which adds a whole nother thing to this, and I am aware of that. I also understand that long-term improvements take planning, funding, and coordination, and none of those things are easy to do within one entity, and then when you're trying to combine two, it makes it even more challenging. I'm well aware of that. I'm here speaking to you tonight because it is worth the time and it's worth the effort to do something. I'm not only here to bring forward concerns, I'd like to offer practical, immediate first step. My suggestion would be to close the road to through traffic, make it a dead-end road. The reason for this is because of the dangerous driving activity, because 90% of people using this road, I personally believe, are not people that need to be using that road. They're using it as a cut-through, and I know that the city has posted a compost sign. I'll tell you right now, people don't go around. I know some do, but I live on that road. I have a garden on that road. I'm outside all day long, every day, especially on the weekends, and you see constant traffic on that road. I feel like making this road a dead-end road would be a low-cost measure, relatively easy to implement. I understand that's a relative term, but it would cut down on non-resident traffic, decrease the excessive speeding and hazardous driving, as well as provide relief and reassurance to the community and the members that live there. Might also reduce your maintenance costs on the road. So I'm actually here trying to tell you how you're going to save money, which I know is always nice to hear. Since the incident last week, I've spoken directly with neighbors and residents along this roadway, both with the township and with the city. Every single person I talked to signed my petition, and I have it here with you. I'd be happy to share it with you, but it basically says, we're asking to hopefully make this a dead-end road, and then let's come up with some plans to make this roadway safer for more long-term. Every person I talked to, city and township, signed this. We're asking for collaborative action between the city and township to prioritize this issue and start implementing meaningful, lasting safety improvements with the simple goal of preventing a serious injury or something far worse from happening. And without change, it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when something tragic happens. So again, thank you for your time. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
I have a question. Have you been to the township?
I was there at the meeting last night. I presented to them. I basically brought everything with me. So they're well aware. They know that I'm going to be here speaking with you tonight as well. So, yep.
Okay.
That's about all I can say
Yeah.
at this point, but
Yeah, I don't know how this, I don't know the process of all of this. I'm just here, bringing forward my concerns. And I look forward to, doing what I can as a resident and a community member to work with you to, maybe my solutions aren't the right ones. I don't know, but we've got to start somewhere. And I feel like I said, this is a really good place to start, a relatively easy thing to implement, from my standpoint. But just looking for something to change to make this safer for our community and my family. So,
yeah, the fact that they're aware of it will help, because then if we talk to them, then they know what we're talking about.
I can give a little update at the end of the agenda too,
Okay.
relative to that.
okay.
I do have a follow-up question for you. Yeah. One of your asks is to, make a dead end at one end. Which end are you asking?
Honestly, on the petition, I left it open-ended. I didn't know, I don't care personally. I didn't know if other people, the township folks are the ones that are really using that road to get to their home. Everybody else that uses that road is using it as a cut-through. So I didn't know from their standpoint. To me, and I don't know, there's a lot that I don't know, but what would make sense to me would be to do it on the side of the park. Because if you make that a dead-end road, you have a very safe pathway from that entire neighborhood community where there's no traffic going across that road, where you have young children and families. There's no traffic crossing that road. I know obviously the city owns that property where they're putting the park in. It's not a paved road right now. So you have, and I understand this takes money and time and more than just me saying this is easy. I get that. But if you're thinking of implementing it, to me, that would be what would make sense, is to put it there. But again, from my standpoint, I don't care. I just want the roads safer. And that's the feedback that I've gotten both from the folks that signed the petition with the city and the township as well, so.
How many township residents live on that road?
I believe 10, don't quote me on that, and of the 10, I spoke with, I know that I spoke with everyone except for 2, and the only reason I couldn't connect with them is the 2 nights I went door knocking, nobody answered. But everyone on the township side signed the petition that basically suggested making the road a dead-end road and then implementing some safety measures to improve that roadway.
Okay.
And then actually, I believe every city resident that has a backyard that butts up to that road also signed the petition. So I realize it's not 100%, but it's pretty good. And again, every single person I spoke with was willing to sign the petition.
All right. All right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak tonight? I thought maybe I saw another name on the sign-in sheet.
Well, I put my name on the signage. I'm with her. I live next door
Okay,
to her, and I am in the township.
okay. Did you want to speak tonight, sir?
If I agree with her too.
You can come on up. Absolutely.
It's easier to sit down there.
I know, but our guy in the back room will come out and yell at us that we can't hear you on the TV, so. Could you just state your name so we know?
My name is Jeff Vogt.
Thanks.
I live at 15093 122nd Street.
Thank you.
Like I said, right next to Nicole Hubbard. It would make sense to shut it off at the park. The amount of traffic that comes through there and the contractors that come through there with their 14-foot, 16-foot dump trailers to get to that compost site, and they fly down that road. I've lived there, it's gonna be 20 years. For the last 15, I can't open my windows of my house. That's how bad the dust is, because I can sit in my yard and watch it come across my yard. Why do I want my windows open? We gotta stop something. It's really bad, it's ridiculous. There's kids out there, I have an autistic grandchild that gets dropped off at my house every day. I don't want anything ever to happen to him. And he plays at my house every day. There's other people here who have children that their backyards go up against that road. Sure, they don't all go out there and run on the road, but what if that one time? That's all it's gonna take. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Say a couple words too.
Yeah, come on up. Yeah. If you can just state your name for us, that would help.
My name's Braden Parks. I live at 15109 Mandarin Street, so right across on the city side. My backyard butts up to that. My only thought was that I understand if you didn't want to dead end that road because eventually as Elkwind Creek gets fully developed, you don't want people necessarily going through that part, the fully developed part of the neighborhood. So I could understand why you'd want to maybe keep that open for the future. But if that were the case, I'd recommend at least some speed limit signs because there's a one on the corner. I think it's for 20 miles an hour, but other than that, it's kind of vague. Or it's not super clear what the speed limit is, and I think that could be part of why people go so fast. They just don't know. They're like, oh, 55, sweet, let's go. So that'd be my recommendation, and that should be easy enough to implement. Otherwise, or in addition to, you could consider speed bumps, but that would mean a paved road, I suppose. But that would force people to slow down. That's all I have.
Okay, all right, thank you.
My name is Josh Vliger. Thank you, council, for listening to us. I'm also on the township side. Our property does butt up right next to Jeff's. Nicole, we have this, I guess, 18 acres right there on the corner. And when it comes to like placing the dead end, we really don't care. We've talked to everyone that lives in that area, actually goes down our easement of our property to get there, so they don't really care anyways. But the biggest concern is we don't need a paved road that costs a lot of money on both sides, the township and the city side. We are aware of that. That's not what we're pushing for. We're pushing for more of the block it off. They're saying a lot of it is the cut through, even though the signs are there. But I think this last winter I pulled a few cars out of the ditch in Amazon, UPS. The road doesn't get plowed. It's not a priority to plow that road. It is a priority to plow the emergency roads that is needed for fires, ambulances, and stuff like that. It is set off to the side, and we get that. We live with it. We're fine with that. But it's more of who's flying down the road. My wife and I, we can't send our kids out to the mailbox because of the corner. It just got graded probably this morning, or I'm guessing this morning. It just got graded, and then dump trucks are going through there now. But I will probably guarantee, probably by the end of today, there will be some burnout marks on that corner. That's how frequent. As soon as it is graded, it is used. I don't know by who. We live back in the trees a ways, but there's not just vehicles. That it is four-wheelers. It is side-by-sides. You name it. There's a lot of people that come from the development there, and they rock pick there. And a lot of kids they love it. But the thing is that it's drawing kids. the last thing we want to see, and nothing's ever happened, is don't want to see some kid getting hit on that road. And I know everyone on council, safety is the main thing. That's the biggest thing of all of this, is that we are trying to do something keep everyone safe in that area. And as the development is growing, and I believe there's also a new development coming up across the street from there, there's more and more kids that are coming across. So before final decisions are made on the park, we have a window that can be designed into this without obstructing all kinds of construction and the use of that park. So that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you very
Thanks.
much. Is there anybody else that would like to speak at open forum tonight?
Can I just say one more thing?
Yeah, come on up. Why not?
I just learned at the township meeting last night, because I inquired about the speed limit on that road, because I live there and I don't even know what the speed limit is. Unfortunately, we found out the speed limit can only be enforced. It's 55 miles an hour around that half-mile curve stretch, which is very scary. I knew it was probably faster than I was going to want. I didn't expect 55. And so, first off, as I mentioned, the Becker PD has been wonderful in my unique incident that happened, but there's going to be no enforcement. You can't enforce driving slower on that road because you can't. And so the only way that we're going to make change is to do something to change something. And I feel like even speed limit signs, unfortunately, because that's why I asked that question last night, I had the same thought, let's put up some speed limit signs, something in your face. And then after asking that question last night, it was like, okay, I don't want to put up a speed limit sign because it's going to have the opposite effect. And so that's kind of, and my understanding from I believe it was the sheriff that shared this last evening, is that's a Minnesota state thing. It's not a Becker thing. It's not, it's bigger, and that sounds like a very big battle to fight. And you know what? Mama Bear's out, and I'm ready to fight that battle if I have to. I just feel like there's a lot of different options that we can maybe address, because that part I don't see changing, unfortunately. So I didn't know if you were aware of that. I didn't know that until last night, so I just wanted to share that information with you as well. So that's all.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, we will move on then to committee reports, presentations, and awards. We got a lot of them tonight. Personnel committee is first.
Personnel, we met on the 8th. We had chief stop by and we just discussed the sergeant position and just how we're gonna move on with that. And just to kind of explain what was going on with the position of the other officers and stuff once that comes into play. We approved an out-of-state travel for Mark because he's going to his annual conference in Chicago this summer. And then we just kind of discussed, the Minnesota paid leave that we're 4 months in, just kind of seeing where we're at and how it's going, and that's about it for that meeting.
All right, any questions for Becky on personnel? All right, EDA.
EDA met on May 11th. We talked about interest in a 5.75 acre city-owned lot. We didn't talk a lot about it, just that there was some interest in it. And we got our monthly market update, 19 homes for sale in our zip code, 17 pending, and 12 contingent at that time, and that's up a bit from where we have been. That was it.
All right, any questions for Robin? Public Works.
Public Works, we met last, the 13th, and we had a discussion on, crosswalk on Bank Street, and we didn't take any action on it. We were gonna look into it a little bit more. We had another discussion on, 3rd Street North. There was a request to move the crosswalk from Colbinger Park, and we've decided to not move that. That it's in about the best place it can be at this point. And there was a discussion on parking on the street, on 2nd Street. What did we do on that?
There was just a resident that was because we were having issues with people parking in front of mailboxes.
Oh, yeah.
And a resident has a very narrow driveway and can't get in, and
I'm not gonna mention his name, but legitimate complaint. It's a tight area there. And in fact, the day before I drove down it and there was, something was going on with the township or something, cause there was cars all over. And he couldn't have got out of his driveway if he wanted to, so.
So we're gonna widen that skirt.
Yeah, so what we talked about was widening his driveway, cause it's real narrow, the apron on it. So that, cause you can't block somebody's driveway, and that'll hopefully help the situation, cause we can't do much with the street at this point in time.
Sure.
And recycle day, we don't have any information on yet, we'll have that the next, after our next meeting. We talked about the water treatment, plant for wells 7 and 8, just to get discussions going on it. We're having trouble finding water. They did test the wells at the golf course to see if they could be used. And I think one was possibly, wasn't it?
One was similar to what our current wells have.
Yeah.
Higher levels of iron.
But that creates other issues too, so we don't know what we're gonna do there. We got a well house refurbishment, is that on the agenda tonight?
No, I don't think so.
That'll be,
Next meeting. And let's see. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Questions for Mike on Public Works? Police Management?
Want me to do, please?
Sure.
So we met, last Friday morning, 0700 hours. We talked, as you can guess, we talked about the sergeant position, posting as well, and, some details on that. We also, had an update on our current staffing, just like we reported last month. We have a few folks that are out right now, so, and then with the sergeant position open. We are covering all shifts. It's not a safety concern there, but, it is, tight, and so when folks need time off, sometimes unfortunately they're not able to get that right now, so that's kind of where, that's at. We also talked about just kind of a discussion on part-time employees. A lot of times, this is where you would, in the past, say historically, this is where you would fill in with part-time employees. And, 10, 15 years ago, this was, when you came out of the academy or whatever, this is how you got your job. You got your job as a part-time employee, and then you looked for a full-time opening on a force. Now, policing has shifted, and if you go look and see what there's for full-time openings right now, there's more full-time openings than there are people coming out or people looking for jobs right now. So needless to say, if you're coming out of the academy and you go, well, I could have a part-time job here, I could have a full-time job over there, you're gonna take the full-time job because that's what you're looking for. And so what our approach before to use part-time to fill in with these types of situations where if an officer has court, officer wants some time off, things like that, we're able to shift around some, but a lot of times we filled in with part-time, and that's really no longer an option. So we just had some discussions about that and what that can look like going forward. More to come on that. Let's see, let's get that one. The school, or I'm sorry, as mentioned with staffing being down right now, we're not gonna bid on the SRO project bid on the school this year. That was coming up, but that would be, if we were to bid on that, we would have to hire another person to take that position as well, so that puts even more stress on it, so that's not the best time to be doing that right now. If you remember, a couple months ago, we had the purchase for the bi-directional, the amplifier, that is installed and it is working as we hoped it would, so. We also had, finally discussion on the, squad car purchase, that is, going forward there, but, so we talked about, strategies as far as when to purchase them, at least, because we got bumped last year, we're gonna get, first dibs, if you wanna say this year, so, they are allowing us to pick, our build week, so this is, as opposed to in the past, you just put in and you kinda got a rough idea, now we actually have we can pick the week that it gets built, which of course will then dictate when it, gets delivered, so, we, had an update on that, and that's about it.
Okay. Questions for Rick on police? Excel Advisory.
Excel, we met, same day, last Friday, not at 0700 hours. We, met closer to lunch. We just had pretty much an update from the, all the entities that were there. That's about all I got there.
Okay, any questions on Excel? Fire Board, Rick's
show
up,
tonight.
the trifecta.
So Fire Board, we met just last night, 17:30 for anybody keeping track. So we, excuse me, so we went through the bills. We're a third of the year, so any of the ones that use straight line, any of the bills there, everything was looking pretty good. We'd have a couple of questions on a couple of things, but overall, the budget is holding steady to plan. The audit is tentatively scheduled, the results of the report of the audit is tentatively scheduled. We have a meeting scheduled for June 15th. That's our regularly scheduled meeting. If the audit can be done and presented by that time, then we're going to invite them and we'll have the audit that night. We do statutorily, we do have to have the audit given to us, accepted by June 30th. So if the June 15th meeting does not work with our audit team, then we'll have to schedule another meeting later in June then, and so we can receive that. We will also be discussing the 2027 fire budget. We'll be discussing it at our June meeting, and then we will do a joint meeting in July between the city and the township, because the city and the township both own the fire department. So we hold a joint meeting once a year in July to take care of any other business for the fire board and accept this budget. So of course, that leaves us June to work on this budget, so. We did talk about getting some upgraded exercise equipment. We had it was a treadmill that had failed, which the equipment is used by our firefighters, and so we are looking to, we're gonna get a replacement for that. We did have a roofing update. We had a person come in to look at the roof, and we were pleasantly surprised that we were gonna get the work done for about $1,000 in repairs. We were thinking it was gonna be more, so. That was, well, probably shouldn't say that before we write the check, but that's a, but no, it was favorable, so, we are gonna get some updates to the roof. Estimate was a rough replacement around the 2034 era. I believe the fire department was built in 2004, if I remember right. So, we're talking about a roof already that's over 20 years old. So, 2034 would put it at 30 years roughly. So, so that's something that, among other things, next month we'll be talking about with CIP is, that of course we want to plan for that ahead. We don't want 2034 to just come and go, oh, we need a roof. So, let's see, in June, Excel Energy will be doing, as you know, they're installing some batteries out on the Sherco property, which of course, for the fire department, you have to be trained in how to put out a battery fire. So, should one ever occur. So Excel is gonna be doing training in June, thanks to Mayor Kobinger. They are gonna be holding that training in the evenings, because most of or all of our fire department is volunteer, and volunteers typically are at work during the day, so it's not a good thing to be holding training during the day when they're all at work. So they are gonna be holding that during the evening, and I think we're gonna invite some at least some officers from some other agencies as well, so. We are gonna be ordering there's a new Lucas machine that's like a compression, gives the automated compressions. LPI has made a very generous donation to cover nearly all of that, and we'll probably have a more formal from the paper thing for that later. So that was ordered last night, or it was asked to be ordered last night, so. Let's see, we also did, we're gonna do the new HVAC project up on the roof mounted HVACs. That came in, the estimates came in a little bit under what we budgeted for, so we gave approval for that. The grass rig, which we've been waiting for patiently, is gonna be here any day, and we said to send the old one to the auction, and that's what I got. It was a long meeting last night. We were there about an hour and a half, so.
Yes, sir. Any questions for Rick on fire? Planning Commission.
Planning Commission, we met last night also. We had two public hearings, public hearing for planned unit development, Edgewood Village, and a public hearing for a plat for Edgewood Village, and which will both come to council, I believe, the next council meeting. And then we just had an update on the industrial park on this acreage that we got for sale.
Okay. Questions for Mike on planning? And finally, LPI advisory.
LPI advisory, we met last Thursday, I believe it was.
Yes.
We got an update from LPI on their shutdown for upgrading, and this is the last of it. And they're having a good year. That's about all I can say on that. It's
Good. All right. Let's move on to board, committee, and consultant reports. Letter A, Chief is up with the 2027 squad car purchase.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's a little abnormal for me to be in front of you in May, talking about a squad car purchase, but as you know, last year's, our order from October got canceled. That pushed back this year's squad, and we're kind of in a unique position with the change that Rick kind of highlighted earlier in his brief from our police committee meeting, is that Ford is changing a little bit of the way that we are able to order a squad car. In the past, we would order in August, anytime between August and October, and then just hope and wait and see when it shows up and then go from there. Makes it a little more difficult for us to plan for things like upfitting and whatnot when it comes in. So with the order cancellation, Ford has confirmed that what'll happen is our other car kind of goes to the top of this pass list. So because we got our order canceled, that one's good. But they don't start building till I think he said August or September, the model year. So we anticipate we won't still receive our 2026 squad until end of year sometime. Puts us in a unique position, as you know, because we order one squad every single year, and they're spread out mileage wise and service life wise based on that. So with the change in the ordering ability to pick your week that you can build the squad car, we kind of looked at that as maybe an opportunity to kind of change how we order this particular time. And what it would do is we would be able to, starting I think next week, I'm waiting to hear back. I don't have, the order window hasn't opened from 1040. It's supposed to open later this week here. So hopefully by Friday, I'll know a little bit more detail on that. But essentially what it'll allow us to do is, as soon as that order window opens, pending your approval, we could go to 1040. We could put in our request for the squad car for our 2027 budget year and request a build date like the last week in December, first week in January. Again, don't know exactly how particular it'll be for timing, but according to 1040, it gives us a rough estimate of when that car will be built. And therefore, what it would do is it would allow for us to have the car early in 2027. It'd still be under the 2027 CIP, which has identified the purchase of that squad car already. And then what it would do is we'd have basically two cars starting within a few months of each other. And then to kind of make up for that on the back end, in our CIP, instead of identifying a car each year, what would happen is 2030 would be kind of a drop year where we wouldn't purchase a squad car. We would just transfer those funds to 2031. And so then 2031, we'd have a two-car purchase year, and we can carry that out as long as we want to do that. So that's kind of how I came to be here in front of you in May. So the plan would be by the end of this week, early next week, once they contact us that the order is ready to be opened, we would submit the order. Nothing changes. The order form is going to be exactly the same as the last car that we ordered that we're still waiting on. He said the only thing that ever changes is occasionally some options here and there. So I didn't identify the exact price as I normally would, just because it could fluctuate a little bit, but he indicated that they don't usually fluctuate a whole lot. So what I'd be asking from you tonight is a motion, a second, for me to sign an agreement with 1044 once that opens here to place a purchase for our 2027 squad car now with a build date either end of December or early January. I'll talk with the 1040 rep and see what he recommends on that in order to get that car in the beginning of the year. And then therefore, we won't have any impact budgetarily wise for it. It's already identified in CIP, and we would just start those two cars together and their lifespan would kind of go on as normal. So any questions?
Questions for Chief? Not, does anybody want to make a motion for resolution 2644 for the 2027 squad car purchase?
I have a question first.
Yes, sir.
This will work with the CIP?
Yeah, so we're budgeted for 2027 for a squad car purchase. We pay on arrival, so that would be the plan, is that it would arrive early, sometime in January, hopefully 2027, so we would just,
And the funds, we'd have the funds available?
Yep, we already have the funds identified. I think there's 65,000 identified for that car already. And we anticipate the price to be pretty similar to our last purchase, right around 45. And then the remainder is just any other equipment we need for upfitting at the upfitter. Yep.
I'll make that a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mike, a second by Becky. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Motion carries.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Ebensteiner is up with our first quarter financials from 2026.
Great, thank you, Mayor and Council. Yeah, just wrapped up the 2025 audit report, just presented that. Required newspaper articles, or the statements were in the paper last week. And we're on the cusp of getting into the 27 budget discussion. So Q1, good snapshot to see where we are moving along in 2026. So I'll also give a quick snapshot of the general, special revenue funds, and then the enterprise funds. So starting off with the general fund, tax revenues at 0%. As you're aware, those tax revenues flow to the city after collection by the county. We would expect to receive around 35% in June, additional 15% in July, and then the remaining 50% of those tax collections would come in November or December. Interest revenue within the general fund is at 44% of budget, so really reflective of those strong interest rate environment. And then overall revenues at 4.27% of budget, with the community center now being reported within the general fund. Definitely a little stronger revenue than in the past. So currently the charges or services within the community center are at 30% of budget, and that reflects they've had some really strong memberships, and they also opened up signups for Adventure Zone registrations early. So great to see there. Overall general fund expenditures, 19% of budget through 25% of the year. Workers' comp, that premium is paid in the first quarter, so that's kind of allocated throughout the year, but paid in the first quarter. And most departments are under that run. There's a couple of the smaller departments with some of the dues that are paid in Q1 that are for the full year that are trending a little bit higher. EDA fund, those revenues are also tied to the same constraints with taxes within the general fund. Interest revenue is really the only revenue in there now. That's at 48% of the planned budget, a little over 9,000. And expenditures at 20% of budget through 25% of the year. So definitely EDA fund expenditures a little more consistent. We wrapped up that grant in 2025, so more of a similar trend that we were previously used to. Golf course fund, performing well. Revenues are up 2.88% over the same period last year, so really a great start to the year. User fees, including memberships, came in strong through Q1. Expenditures, those also include the workers' comp premiums. So overall golf fund, 16.6% through the first quarter, and currently returning around 60,000 of income for quarter one. So great start to the year for golf. Water fund revenues consistent with typical quarter one use and slightly ahead of 2025. What you'll see with the other revenues, we did get a portion of the PFAS settlement in March, so that was around $365,000. We expect to receive some additional of that settlement as well, and then we'll set that aside for future use related to some capital needs within the water fund. And then within the water fund, expenses at 18.5% of total year budget, so performing well there. Wastewater fund, domestic wastewater fund, typical quarter one. And sewer tends to be more consistent, so we're at just a little under 21% through March on the revenue side. And then expenses are at 20% of budget through Q1. Definitely capital heavy. We'll see some additional capital coming in, both in water and wastewater. So we'll see some additional expenses there. And then industrial wastewater, revenues are tracking as expected. Revenues at 24% and expenses at 18.5%. Otherwise, discuss the budget and finance. And no action, but can answer any questions. Appreciate the time.
Anybody have any questions for Mark?
Nope.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Next up is the consent agenda, Mr. LaRue.
Mayor Colbringer, city council members, items for review, approval, or adoption on tonight's consent agenda include the revised hiring and termination report, authorize the Tuesday, May 19th, 2026 payment of claims is presented. The claims listing has been provided to the city council as a separate document and is available upon request for public view at City Hall. The total claims are $439,889.18. Approve the minutes of the May 5th city council meeting. Adopt resolution 26-43, accepting the following donations. $350 value grill from Safe Food Training to the police department. $7,500 from the Becker Lions Club for fireworks for Becker Freedom Days. And $721.98 from the Becker Youth Baseball Association for the BAC shed rebuild. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Great. Anybody have any questions? Just to note, the baseball building, that was a victim of arson, and it has been repaired. They did that in-house, so thank you to staff for doing that. Saved a lot of money doing that, and thanks to the Youth Baseball Association, we built it a little bigger so it can serve more people out there, and they kicked in for that. And our usual thanks. I don't know, I feel like 100% of the meetings I've been at, and for my year and a half, the Lions are donating something, so thanks again to the Lions. Keep playing those pull tabs, people. All right, any other questions on the consent agenda? If not, we would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Robin, second by Mike. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. That motion carries. Just a quick follow-up, so when we do have open forum, we don't take action formally on those, except I would recommend we refer this to Public Works.
I was gonna
do
bring
that
that up
tonight.
afterwards.
Just a couple notes. Did have a brief conversation already last night with town board supervisors. We have some experience working with the town board on this. We have some recent experience on shared roadways, which is a really good experience. And we did have staff today, did speak with some township road supervisors already. So they have a jump on this, which is really good, because you mentioned it, it's difficult when it's multiple entities, but those conversations are already taking place. So if council's good with that, we'd refer that to Public Works and work on that with some solutions as quick as we can, because we agree, we want it to be a safe roadway.
I concur.
People good with that consensus?
Do it.
All right, so that gets, the ball is rolling, and that just helps it roll faster.
I do have one question that maybe,
Philip?
there, no, Phil's back there, yeah. If we upgrade the road, the speed limit's still gonna be 55? That's what I was afraid of.
Yep, he nodded his head yes, so upgrading it, and I know we're not gonna discuss it tonight, but I've heard pretty loud and clear from residents, they don't want it tarred and upgraded, because if you do that, you're gonna increase the traffic probably tenfold.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And
So
faster.
and faster. And recent experience, if you tar a road, you get even more burnouts, and not talking about people, I'm talking about the tires. Okay, just before that gets misquoted there. So I think that was pretty loud and clear that that's not what people were looking for, so. But I know staff's had some good preliminary discussions, so I think the township expressed a willingness to work together, and quite honestly, they have a lot more people on that road. Not that you're not important, you are. We have one city resident, so we want to be cognizant of and being aware that it affects more township residents. So I have all the faith in the world that our staff will work quickly with them and come up with some plans. So hopefully that's something that's good to hear. All right. Does anybody have anything else to come before council? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion by Rick, second by Mike. All in favor of adjourning, please state aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, state no. Meeting's adjourned, and we will just have a couple-minute hiatus as we prepare for the executive session coming up. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Hook up? Okay.
So long as two-item agenda meeting, I think we were.
I told the public health people, I said, you better be there by about 5:20.
Yeah,
Because Greg's like, there's not much happening.
yeah, there, well,
I'm pretty loosey on the 3-minute toggle.
yeah, and typically we don't.
Are you all in favor of making that a dead end?
Yeah.
I don't know if we can though.
I don't know.
Well, township would have to go along with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's just been a nightmare back there forever.
That was good, easy solution.
Right. Well, it's been a nightmare back there forever.
What's that?
It's been horrible back there forever.
I've been out there, I've witnessed
Oh, yeah.
cars going down that road. And they go.
Want me to like
Oh, God, yeah.
move it over?
Absolutely.
I do, but not over here.
Okay. I was just, because the settings or whatever are,
Holy Christ.
What was that?
we got a lot of things up here.
Presentation.
Yeah, it's always something.
Do not say that.
Huh?
Do not say that.
What is he saying?
All that. Look at, this is all part of that. Turn your monitor on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just
I
thinking,
had another joint township meeting called June 8th, Monday night at 8 o'clock.
At night?
Is that for the fire?
That's ridiculous.
And our one budget meeting in July is the only night I was going to.
Oh, I can do it. You can. Okay.
Ask them to move it.
No, I'm not gonna do that. But
Why?
I'm not going to the next joint planning because I am golfing. I feel meetings out lately.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta go buy more of these.
Cleanup day was,
It was good.
I think it went pretty good. I think that we had a pretty good turnout too.
Hey, Chris. Look what. Look what I just got while sitting here.
What was he doing?
Yep, he's like, you gotta show me. He got his best.
It looks very nice.
Very crisp.
Oh, is this in clouds?
Yeah.
Oh, he never told me he got that.
He didn't?
I'm getting really irritated with him. Cause like,
Oh, that's okay.
He just started yesterday.
he never even told me. He said, hey, I'm sure.
That's all her, we've had we've had agendas that were way longer than that and our meeting lasted 15 minutes.
His
I
last
didn't know if
hurrah.
St. Cloud could let her stay here or not. I told you. Sure.
Let's go.
Which was, I
I
think,
don't
a
care.
no
He does if he
because.
wants to.
Gavel.
All right. We are gonna call the executive session meeting to order. Doesn't mean everybody has to leave, but, we'll call that to order at 5:49. And we're starting off tonight with a public health presentation, so I will turn it over to our friends from Sherburne County Public Health.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Amelia Bachler. I'm a Sherburne County Public Health Community Health Coordinator.
And I'm Allison Miller, Sherburne County Community Health Coordinator. And we are just here today to just talk a little bit about what public health is and what public health isn't, just to give you a quick overview of a way that we can maybe partner in the future. Oh, sure. Yeah, a way that we can partner in the future because we really are your public health department in Sherburne County. So we hope to form a trusting relationship Let's see. Okay, so public health versus healthcare. What we like to say is public health is more like the upstream, okay? So if you're looking at a stream and there's people that are in the stream and they're drowning, like a healthcare or an emergency response is to get these people out of there, but public health response is why did it happen in the first place? So we go up the stream and we see that the bridge is broken. And so it's more like we're focusing on prevention, population health, interventions aimed at community environment, social conditions, and health behaviors. So that's really kind of where we're at with that. So community health and community partners, so it's not just us at the county that is public health. The public health is really the entire community. So we work with healthcare providers, nonprofits, cities, other counties, schools. So we have a lot of community partners, and working with them is really what public health is all about. Oops, did I go one too many? No, is this right? Okay.
All right. To explain a little bit about how public health is structured in Minnesota, there is a statutory requirement for to establish a community health board and then to follow the public health responsibilities that are listed on there. So community health boards are either built up of multiple counties, if they're smaller counties, one singular county like it is in Sherburne County, and then an instance of more of our urban areas. If they're big enough, they're able to have their own local public health department. Like City of Minneapolis and City of Bloomington. So just a reminder that we are your local public health department and we're really just an extension as a department of the City of Becker. We won't go through all of these, but just a quick explanation of the work that we do. Communicable disease and prevention and control is really just preventing, monitoring, and mitigating communicable disease in the community. So whether that's working with refugees and immigrants to make sure they have the proper vaccines when they come in and to help make sure we're not spreading any disease, tuberculosis control, think of all things COVID, that kind of stuff, to making sure that we don't have major outbreaks. Environmental, it really depends on local public health. We don't personally do that at Sherburne County. We defer to the state. But we do public health nuisances, which is if in a home or a business, basically indoor things, if it were to impact people's health, that's where we would step in. So examples of that, we've had cases where people are hoarding multiple cats in their home and it's no longer safe living situations where we would step in. We've also worked with like drug task force before. If people are selling drugs at their home, they're cooking things, that's when it becomes unsafe in the home's conditions. Maternal, child, and family health, we have our family home visitors. They go into homes to support moms and babies up to age 5. Our WIC team, so women, infant, and children, and they provide that supplemental food support and dietitian support, breastfeeding support, and then the child and teen checkups, so encouraging families to go to the doctor yearly for those checkups. Today we're going to be mostly talking about our chronic disease and injury prevention and that access to clinical care. And our work is really guided by our assessment and looking at the data and using that to guide the work that we do. One of the data sources that we do use and that what guides our work is our community health needs assessment and then making our community health improvement plan. So we, back in 2019, created the Central Minnesota Alliance, which is an alliance of Benton, Stearns, and Sherburne County, along with CentraCare. It was created because we all share St. Cloud, as well as we know that CentraCare is the primary healthcare provider in the area. And with our statutory requirements, local units of government, the local public health is required to do a community health needs assessment every 5 years, and healthcares are required to do it every 3 years. We said, why are we duplicating all the work? Let's do it together. So that partnership was created in 2019, and it's really been able to do more work as a team and reduce the amount of staffing costs and get those resources out further. And so we are currently in a cycle from 2025 to 2028. They take the data from the community. There's voluntary surveys. They can take the surveys that people take when they go into the doctor's office, and it asks about food security, whether they're able to pay their bills, how much they exercise, things like that, and we're able to look at what are the concerns in the community. And from there, we have to prioritize them. We want to do it all, but that's not possible. So here are 3 priorities for 2025 to 2028 that are guiding our work. A top one is mental health and substance use. We know that's a concern in our community, making sure people are talking about it, we have access to resources, and then having that prevention ahead of time to help prevent substance use concerns from happening or mental health concerns. And some of that is creating spaces where people feel like they belong and have that connection. Community stability, we can't always fix the economy, right? But we can make sure that people know about the resources that are out there. So having like housing resources available, being able to apply for that food security and stuff like that within your community and be able to make it more accessible to people. And then community access, making sure people can access healthcare even if they are homebound, or we can help with transportation concerns. To give you a little background, the previous reiteration of the Community Health Improvement Plan, they did work on broadband access, and I know we've made great strides on that in the 3-county area the last couple of years. So why does this matter to you? Why is this even important to you all if we're doing it here? Really, public health is about more than just somebody saying, I'm going to eat healthy and I'm going to exercise and I'm going to go to the doctor. Only 20% of somebody's health is geared towards the health care that they receive, and 50% of it is traced back to your zip code. And so it's really important that they have opportunities within the community to making sure it's walkable and bikeable with safe sidewalks, crosswalks. In the instance of our community forum today, making sure roads are safe for children and having parks available, things like that, that there's plenty of jobs available, that the cost of living is manageable so people can then pay their bills and then also contribute to the economy by spending as well. Making sure our schools are supported so we have high graduation rates and people are ready to go off into their next step, whether that's to secondary school or to go into the trades and things like that. Next thing we're going to look at, we're just going to look at a few different data points to kind of explain what is happening in the city of Becker and get you a better understanding of your residents. So up here on the screen, we have Social Vulnerability Index. This basically looks at poverty rates, unemployment rates, our education levels, how our households are built up, whether we have transportation opportunities, different housing opportunities, and things like that. If somebody has a high social vulnerability, or that population does, it means that they're less likely to be able to bounce back and be resilient if there was a emergency, if there was external stressors, which then can increase the costs on the community as well. So they're more likely to have emergency room visit costs, less likely to be working and be able to contribute to the economy, so it can all bring that cost back to the rest of the city and taxpayers. You can see by the screen that Sherburne County is doing really, really well. We have pretty low vulnerability rates. And you will notice that St. Cloud does have that higher social vulnerability index, which is why we have to focus on them a lot to making sure that the resources are there for the community and helping them to get to a lower social vulnerability index. Quick look at where Becker's at. The average household income in 2024 was $86,094. This is right along with state average. And you'll notice if you look at other counties and cities around you, as the more you go towards the cities, more urban it is, the higher the household income is. We also know the cost of living is higher there as well. So we're doing good there. It's still higher than Benton counties and then lower than Anoka County. And then looking down Highway 10, still in Sherburne County, Elk River is about $108,000 right now for their average household income. And poverty rates are also doing well. We're at about 9.5%, which is about consistent with state average. Cost burden households, this means that someone is spending more than 30% of their gross income each month on housing expenses, so rent or mortgage payments or utilities. You can see for the total for Becker residents, it is 28.6%. Minnesota state average is 28%. You'll notice for those who own their home, it is 22%. And then for our renters in the community, it is 53.9%, which is quite high, and could be a concern. Once again, we can't always change the economy, but one thing that can lower it is by adding more of rental income opportunities, which would then probably drive the price down a little bit. Just a quick snapshot of what our households are made up of. We do have about 37% have a child in the home under 18 years old. So it's really great that we have opportunities in the community for the kids to get out there with the community center and other opportunities. And then we do have a high population with households with one or more people, 65 years and older, 32.9%.
Becker?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not the only old person.
And it's your household that also has it in there, so it's not, we're saying all of your.
Because in the 2020 census, I think our 65 and over population was
Lower?
well under 10%.
And this is households, so it might be still that as well. I can go back and double check though, and I'll send a follow-up email. But as you have aging populations, it's just important to have resources available to them to have, whether that's assisted living complexes, to have different ways they can get out in the community and different transportation opportunities. All right, and then a quick look at our programs that we have that would apply to you all.
Can I ask one quick question? Jacob, is this something we've provided to our housing study people? Or do they have access to that information?
I assume a lot of these come from census data and American Community Survey, so yes.
Okay, thank you.
They'll use similar data.
All right, thank you. Sorry.
No problem. Okay, so SHIP, this is a part that I work on a lot in my job at Sherburne County, and it is the Statewide Health Improvement Partnership. And so it supports PSE work, so policy, systems, and environmental change. We work in communities, schools, and childcare, workplaces, and healthcare. We really want to make a change in their environment to make their lives healthier. So some things that we've done, and specifically in Becker, we had some community partner awards that were given out a couple years ago. So for example, in Becker Early Childhood, under the Minnesota Moves, we purchased large motor skills equipment for their youngest learners out in both indoor and outdoor. Becker Primary, we helped build a Gaga pit. And Becker Intermediate, we created some calming spaces for their tier 2 and 3 students. So that's kind of some work we've done recently in Becker. So active living, there's really 4 areas of SHIP. So it's active living, Minnesota Moves, Minnesota Eats, and tobacco-free living. So some things that active living is safe routes to school. So again, Amelia mentioned with the forum this evening, talking about maybe safe routes to parks, that we could possibly partner with the townships on that area that was discussed this evening. Park planning, traffic safety policies, those kind of things would really, I took a photo of what the woman had, and I'm gonna bring that back and see if we can partner a little bit with that. Healthy eating, some things that we've done, community gardens, working with farmers markets. A few years ago when the food shelf was still, I think, in this building, now it's in the Furniture Mart, is that right? That's correct? Okay. We worked with them a little bit, a lot during COVID, but to do some improvements with them, lactations rooms, food RX. Super shelves is one thing that is a really popular thing now in the state, to make visiting a food shelf more like a grocery store experience. So there's carts, there's aisles, it's not just boxes of food being given to you. It's, a much better experience. Worksite wellness. So many people spend at least a third of their day or more at work. So it's really important that people at work feel supported and feel healthy. Things like stand-up desks. This photo is Big Brothers and Big Sisters in St. Cloud and we provided some stand-up workstations for them. That helps to bolster employee wellness, morale, commitment, less days missed, lower healthcare costs. And then we do have a committee or what's it called? Partnership, yes. Try Wellness at Work. So one of my coworkers helps lead this with a woman from Stearns and a woman from Benton. And it is it was formed in 2016, but has really grown a lot since then. 61 organizations in the Tri-County area have connected with this. And if anyone is interested in joining, if you own a business or the city itself wanted to be part of this, it's a really great opportunity for your employees.
And the city has worked on it as well.
They have,
They've been a
yes.
partner.
Okay.
As well as Guardian Angels, so.
In Becker.
Yeah,
Yes,
well,
got it.
Guardian Angels is
Yeah.
throughout the
Yeah.
county, so yeah. One more quick data point and then we'll keep moving on. This is our obesity prevalence in the county. So this takes data from the Minnesota Electronic Health Records Consortium. So 11 different healthcare organizations, the biggest ones in the state, all work together to report out the data they get from their healthcare systems. Of course, they take out anyone's personal information, but it helps us get a better understanding of what's going on in our communities and how you can better support them. Our obesity prevalence, this is for the whole county, is 34% prevalence rate for obesity, where the state of Minnesota is at 31.4%. Another thing we work on is childcare, making it easier for people to be able to find the childcare facilities in the area, whether that's in-home or centers, and then also making sure that those people that do these centers and in-home daycare, that they feel valued and have the supports they need to continue going, because we know that there's a need for them and there will continue to be a need for them. So we have partnered with our economic development director, Brian Filming, at the county, and he created a childcare map. If you haven't seen it before, it's really, really fantastic. And so instead of parents having to call 25 different daycares to see if there's an opening, people at the childcare providers are able to just submit what openings they do have available, and then people can check it right there on the website. So that's a great thing that we have now in Sherburne County, so please share that with everyone. But then as well, we are working to better support our childcare businesses and in-home daycares by providing training to them.
Were you involved or aware of any of the new legislation surrounding in-home daycares that was just passed? I didn't know if that was discussed at all.
I don't know.
Okay. Supposed to be a lot of it. According to Facebook, it was really bad and it was a lot of it, so I was just curious.
I'll pass on the word.
All right.
I should mention, I primarily focus on our substance use work, and Allison primarily focuses on our foods work, but also you contact us and we get you to anyone.
Okay, thank you.
Other part of SHIP is tobacco-free living, but we also work on cannabis, alcohol, and other drugs as well. I won't go too much into this. A quick preview, we are also presenting specifically on substance use with our joint boards, the Becker joint, what do you call it?
Park and Rec?
Maybe? Your partnership with city, township, schools?
Oh, the local government roundtable.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes. So in June, we'll talk more about
No,
that.
I forgot you were presenting. Thank you for coming to that.
You'll see us in June. But with that policy work to making it to reduce the exposure, making youth less likely to use, as well as access to secondhand smoke exposure, working on compliance checks, making sure businesses are complying and not selling to minors, providing education to them so they're less likely to sell products they're not supposed to, working with their schools to better support their students and the issues that they're having with substances, and as what you may have all know, the Sherburne County Substance Use Prevention Coalition. You're also probably aware that the county updated their tobacco ordinance, and that will be going into effect July 1st of this year. It's great if cities do take on that, but not everyone is required to, of course. And a big thing that some cities have been interested in implementing is especially the required education piece, as it's a free program to do. Last thing is we also do public health emergency preparedness at the county, so to prepare, withstand, and recover from public health threats. We specifically work on things like if it's a communicable disease threat like COVID-19, but we also help support when there's other threats out there as well for natural disasters, biological, chemical, nuclear, radiological events, and to making sure that people still have access to their health care, they can get access to their meds and things like that. So as you have those plans at the city, that's something we also work on as well. And just know that with public health, there's always a return on investment. We have significant cost savings through prevention. The return on investment is $5.60 for every $1 spent because it reduces mortality rates, lowers healthcare utilization, and then there's an economic benefit from having a healthier workforce. They're less likely to take days off, more likely to stay employed, and then also give back to their community by spending in it. And then you're able to address health equities and disparities by targeting root causes. Think of it kind of like car maintenance versus car repairs. The more money that you spent in car maintenance, the hopefully less money that you have to spend in car repairs. Same idea for public health. The more money you put into public health and prevention, the less money you're going to have to spend in healthcare in the end. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of what we do with public health and maybe some ideas of how we partner together. Any questions for us?
One more thing about the food shelf, we're in the process of trying to build a new one in town, so can you just talk about that, little bit of that again, what you had to offer?
Yeah, so we could, I could reach out to them. That's through the city still?
Nope, they have their own board.
Okay. So yeah, we could work with them like on a super shelf initiative to, like I said, design it in a way that it looks and feels more like a grocery store. Yeah, I could reach out to them as soon as tomorrow and kind of, so if I could even start during their planning meetings, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Any other questions for
Yeah,
Allison?
one of you mentioned immigrants and vaccination. Is that something you monitor?
The like vaccination rates of them.
Yeah.
So they get all of their referrals from the Minnesota Department of Health. So when people come through, then they recognize that we need whatever vaccines, or that they have maybe latent TB or have active TB, so tuberculosis, and we need to get those medications. And so then they stop it and make sure those medications are taken care of.
So that's done locally now. It's not done like it was back in the 20s.
Oh, we don't do that part, no. It's more, that part's still happening as well, but also making sure that those additional support's happening.
Go
Yep.
over vaccinations and stuff at that point in time?
They do, but then this is another step as well.
Oh, okay.
You mean the 2020s or the 1920s?
And then it's also kind of making sure, like there, you're just making sure you're checking a box. Once you get here, it's better to understand the local healthcare system and getting access to that.
Ellis Island.
No, Mike was at Ellis Island, they used to do that.
I wasn't there during that time.
First job.
Lordy, lordy.
All right, any other questions on that note? All right, well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, roundtable.
Are we scratching that one?
Oh,
No, I was gonna say, yeah, we got the.
I must have missed the revised one, sorry. Thank you. There it is. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Rick. County, or US Highway 10, County Road 11 grant application, cost share.
So, I met, late last week with, Andrew Witter and Bruce Messelt at the county. There's a federal grant program, CERISI it's called. It has to do with consolidated rail infrastructure and safety improvements. And they were interested in submitting a joint application that would include both their intersection at County Road 10, Highway 10 and County Road 11, and our intersection at Highway 10 and Highway 25. It is a quick turnaround. It's the application due sometime in June. So they had already reached out to Bolton and Mank, who they worked with to secure funding in Zimmerman and some other places. And received a proposal back, to do a grant application, include us both. The application itself was 30, then they had an informational handout that was another 5, and then traffic modeling was another 5. Andrew has been out of the office, he'll be back next Tuesday, so I don't know which part of that or all of it, that they were asking to share. But anyway, the city's commitment would be $15,000 to $20,000. And so tonight I want to bring this to you if there's interest in doing this. There are sufficient funds in future projects or trunk funds to do this. Then the county would likely come back with a cost share agreement that would be approved at the June 2nd meeting. It isn't likely that this would be funded on the first go around. There's $2 billion available nationwide. But the money and whatever is prepared, and this application could be updated for future applications or even used for other program applications. So I would recommend that it is something we pursue with them. They initially contacted the folks at Federal Rail and very much was viewed as a system improvement both together, that would be viewed very favorably on their end. So, and with that, I'll answer any questions I can.
Would it be beneficial to do it, I mean, would it improve chances of getting it?
Together, I believe it would, and that's why they approached us as well.
But the attitude that we probably won't get it this round, that doesn't mean anything. It could happen.
It could. It could, yes.
I mean.
It is
They got the
100%
grant
funded.
for the Luann Drive out there, so that was a first shot deal.
So as Bolton and Mank would just do the application for the grant, it doesn't affect anything because we have.
No design services, no nothing. I think the construction window on this was up to starting in the early 30s. So and we are farther along on our project planning than the county is on theirs at their intersection.
I think getting the county involved I think it might help us. I don't know that, but I just got that feeling that working with the county and submitting them both would help.
You know, they partnered, Zimmerman benefited very well by partnering with the county on the County Road 4 and 169 project, so I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yep. Is there anything, I'm just reading some of the things like the traffic modeling and so forth, is that already gonna be done by our consultant?
Whatever, they will reach out obviously to TKDA, who's doing our work, and anything that they can share, we would ask that they share for this. I don't know how it would all piece together. Sure.
But they would communicate in.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Because well, and they've done a lot of the preliminary work on our intersection, of course.
Yep.
What type of, let's say you hit the home run and you do get one of these, what type of money, we spend $15,000-$20,000, what's the potential return on it?
It's 100% funded.
Just 100%, okay.
Now you're talking my language.
Yeah, and our intersection, I think, was estimated in the low 50s. I think theirs probably is, so by the time it's built, it's probably $150 million project between them.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you add in the rail crossing,
Is there anything, Greg, we would take out of this that could be used in the future? Even if we didn't get it, is there any product, if you will, that we're gonna get from the grant application?
Certainly, the information could be used for other applications.
For other grants.
Sure, yep.
the traffic modeling, I think, would be great. That'd be, when we talk about, this kind of ties into the bridge, the
Exactly.
Monticello Bridge project or potential project, and
Yep.
that would I don't mean, it might be stale by the time they need it, but it's.
And thank you for bringing that up. I did ask specifically Andrew and Bruce about that. Is this gonna impact that project? Because they didn't want them linked together, Bolton and Mink did not want them linked together as they're doing the Pell study, because then it looked like you were guaranteeing a location. They said it has nothing to do with that and there's no impact.
Would they construct it in such a way that if a 4-lane divided road were to be coming in on what we now know today as County Road 11 and hit that approach, would they construct, or do we think
I don't know
And that's gonna-
I don't know the answer to that. Presumably, what they've been looking at out here would be 2 lanes over, Highway 10 and going down County Road 52. So they are looking out to 2050. So to answer your question, probably, there's a lot of there's as much traffic over there as there is over here.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we have a preference on, whether it's future improvements or trunk highway fund? I mean,
I'll visit with finance staff, and when we come back, if council wants to proceed, we'll come back with a specific recommendation on the second.
I don't think I have a preference either way, but they both make sense. It is a future improvement. It's also a highway project.
Yep.
Bolton and Mink's done work for us before.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm in favor of.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Thank you.
All right. Then the round table.
Pretty good chance I'll be absent at the next meeting. So, take a guess where I'll be.
Texas.
Ding, ding. So, FYI.
Okay.
Pretty good chance I'll be at the next meeting.
Pretty good chance I'll be here.
I will be here.
I don't think I'll be pushing up daisies yet.
Michael.
With all that TV work you did at Ellis Island there, it might catch up.
Right. There's an outside chance we could have a playoff baseball game that night, so
Let's.
it could affect me. I'd like to think we'll have a game, but
And then I don't wanna be here
Wanna
either.
jinx it.
God, then what are we gonna do?
I think we have a lot of stuff on that agenda, so if there's gonna be less than 2, less than 2, we need to know. They're gonna be here, so.
I would know
little time.
the previous Saturday.
Okay,
I mean, that's as soon as I would know.
well, it still sounds like we have 3.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll just take one for the team.
If Rick and I are gone, you can fight over who
I was gonna
wields
say,
the
who
gavel.
has to run the meeting, cause
I think
What's-
Robin's the next one.
What's the order of succession? We have that somewhere.
Oh, Robin's the next one up.
Yeah, we do.
she has a.
I'm reluctant to say that because that person
She'll
may
forget
not
her-
want to
she'll
show
forget
up.
her glasses.
Robin, you're the designated survivor
Yeah.
that night, or whatever that thing is.
If it happens, I'll do that. I can still remember how to do it.
Back to the '80s night for Mike.
Yep.
We all wear 80s garb.
This, we got the whole town here.
Oh, when he was the mayor, I meant.
I know, that's what we should all wear 80s
If you come
garb
back
that
and
night.
your gavel's broken, you'll know why.
That's right. Mike lost it.
They just won't listen.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Nope.
Recycle day went good.
Yep.
You might be suggesting a time change though.
Really? To what? Evening or something, or?
2 hours,
Oh, just narrow it down?
yeah.
There's just a big lull.
Already on the agenda for our Public Works Committee meeting in June to discuss and make a recommendation back to council.
Well, because there was
All
a
right.
discussion about possibly doing it in an evening though, wasn't it, next time? Now that you saying that?
Household hazardous waste will only go until 5 o'clock.
Gotcha.
And that's critical for our
That answers
event,
that.
so I think we're locked into a Saturday.
That's fine.
The recommendation that'll go to Public Works Committee from staff is to reduce it to 2 hours.
I think when we did that survey too, there wasn't, especially during the week, that wasn't real popular for,
It wasn't, there was a lot of,
yeah.
Whatever, yeah.
the big thing was, yes, if it was later, at least till 7 o'clock at night.
Honestly, having covered a lot of these for other townships, part of it is your operation is so efficient, people get through there. I mean, that is a big part of it. They're not waiting in line for an hour and.
The big rush, I mean, I think we were through it in the first half hour.
8:30, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of mattresses this year.
Information with the pay plan and the scan codes and.
Yep.
That was slick.
It was very.
Biggest one I wrote up was $400 and some.
Those tires.
I was gonna say, was that Frank?
Tires.
Was that where you were at?
No,
What?
no, we put the SDS guys over there, man.
Okay, because literally every time they came through, you're like, poor Rick.
This ain't my first
Correct.
rodeo, I know how this works. No, I was helping with large appliances for a while, so we were lifting refrigerators out of.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
In case you didn't know, you know.
Thought you looked buffer.
Your arm sore from patting it back there, Rick?
Pull the muscle.
Pull the muscle.
Pulled some fat.
Yeah. Rick the Forklift Hendrickson. All right, if there's nothing else, let's adjourn the meeting at 6:25.